Hoobie-doo, it's everyone's favorite boomer and vintage lens enthusiast, and today we're going to be looking at some more photo CD film scans. In August of 1999, I went to the city on top of the World Trade Center, the Twin Towers, and I took some shots. I used a pentax K1000 film SLR, the 50mm normal lens, and a Sears 135mm f2.8 telephoto. And that's downtown Liberty Street, you know, the financial district. Well, I have some more intelligence about photo CDs. Although these cheaper ones are called picture CDs. They still use the photo CD format. And the reason why I thought they were junky is because the software I was using. Even back in the day, we're talking like the 90s, right? The 90s? Let's talk about the 90s. Oh, your monitor was top notch if you could do 800 by 600 in full color, 24-bit full color. That was like a big deal, a big deal. And they weren't flat screen, they were old monitor type, you know, CRT tubes. You had a 2400 baud modem on your XT desktop or your AT desktop, and if you're lucky you had 1 megabyte of RAM for your system, right? This is in the 90s. This is the state of technology back then. And then, the internet was so primitive, shall we say. I had to learn HTML. That's how bad it was, right? And I had to make my own websites. Slow upload, download speeds, technology that was, shall we say, underpowered. So you can make a whole bunch of different resolutions from a photo CD. One was like very low resolution. What we call a thumbnail today. But at that time, that was good enough, right? Because it was under a megapixel, and you could upload it reasonably quick, and your web pages would load reasonably quick also. But that was considered, the thumbnail, we call the thumbnail today, was considered medium resolution. Anything that was like 2 megapixel, 6 megapixel, 12 megapixel, that was, you couldn't load it up onto the internet because it would take hours. So what was I using? I was using the lowest resolution off of these. Oh yeah, you could crop and pick out detail from one of these full-frame pictures, and that was great. It was like a digital zoom. But listen to this. I was using wrong software. I'm not saying the software was bad, and that's the state of the art back then. One software was called, I'm going to spell it, it was the letter A, the letter C, the letter D, the letter S, the letter E, the letter E. I guess it's pronounced ACDC. And they allows you to view and convert photo CDs, right? Now, and they batch converted. You could pick like a whole, the folder that had all the pictures in it on your CD and batch convert all of them. But there was no options to pick. Nothing. You couldn't pick anything for the photo CD. You couldn't pick anything for the JPEG. It was all built in. So this thing would pick 6 megapixel because that's one of the resolutions on a CD, even on a picture CD, and 8-bit. And that's why the shadows were blown out and the highlights were blown out. That if your photo wasn't exactly exposed correctly, well, it was going to look funky. Nothing you could pick. So there's some other programs. One was called View, some German software. And that allowed you to view and convert photo CDs, but there's nothing to pick. You just picked it. It automatically went to 6 megapixel and 8-bit. And that's why even those pictures were funky looking, right? So there was another software called Photo CD Magic or something like that. And that did everything, 24-bit. It's capable of doing the highest resolution. But the free version only did the low resolution, the sub-megapixel version. I'm guessing maybe it was like 700 by 600 or something like that, very low resolution. But since it was 24-bit color, it looked really great. But back in the day, that's all you needed. That was all you needed. If you wanted to get all the rest of the resolution, well, you had to pay. It was like a freeware for the lowest resolution. Everything else you had to pay. So I used that because, hey, at the time, you know, the lowest resolution was great, and I didn't have to worry about anything. So now what am I going to do? Here it's 2025, and they want $80 for this Photo CD Magic software. So I did a search, and I found Easy Convert, PCD to JPEG. Oh, that's really great. It does all the resolutions, right? It does automatically picks 8 or 24, but it always picks 24. And guess what? There's a 25 megapixel scan of each one of these photos on this picture CD. And it's the same with the photo CD. It has a 25 megapixel scan of each exposure, along with all the other resolutions, like the 16 to 12, the 6 to 4 to 2, and the thumbnail. And this Easy Convert PCD to JPEG does all that great stuff. It gives you stuff to pick. You could pick stuff like you want your JPEG at the best quality. I pick uncompressed. I don't care, because this way I'm gonna crop and resize them, and then uncompressed is 100%. But when I save them at 97%. Plus, you could pick some stuff for the photo CD also, and the results come out fantastic. They're so fantastic that in my photo editing software, I do auto adjust colors. It comes out perfect. Sometimes I don't even have to do that. A very minimal manipulation afterwards. So it's Easy Convert PCD to JPEG. So they have a free version I'm using, but if you want to upgrade, it's only $20. And what do you get when you upgrade? It does batch convert. Right now, the free version is you got to, plug in each file name and hit OK, and then it does it. So that's great. So, like I said, I went to the top of the World Trade Center in 1999. I took some photos. They came out really great. I'm very pleased with them. There's nothing wrong with the picture CDs or photo CDs. It was the software. So Kodak was way ahead of the game. Way ahead of the game. In fact, when it scans, if you're using 400 film, it scans the grain, and then if you enhance it, it enhances the grain too. So I was using like 800 and 400. Sometimes I use 200 and 100 if I knew I was going to be in a bright, sunny day. But that's the way it is, right? So I know that was sort of a long-winded this technical discussion of the gear, but I thought it was worth mentioning. So why don't we just jump right into the pictures and check them out. So it was a pleasant August, I guess, weekend, because I was working at the time. And I went to the city, and it was easy to get there. There's no traffic. Go there early on a Sunday morning, it ain't too bad. And I went on top of the World Trade Center. I think it cost like $250 to get on top. And there's practically no one on top either, which was really weird. So I was using a Pentax K1000, a 50mm takumar, and I also had a Sears 135 2.8. That was my kit. So the first shots I took was with the 50mm. And when I'm doing the A and the B, I guess you could see that. See, this is a heavy-duty crop. Now you got to understand, I was using the correct software for photo CD, and I was able to access the 25 megapixel scan. Wow. So even with a heavy duty crop, it was still like 4 megapixels, and I had to shrink it down to 1920 by 1080. Of course, using film, it was scanned so well you could see the grain in the film, especially when you enhance it. But this photo still came out really good. I really like them. And you got to remember, this is from 1999, so that's 36 years ago? No, 26 years ago. 26 years ago. And of course, the city's all different. There are new buildings, old buildings disappeared, things change. And that's a generation, right? 26 years, that's a generation. And it changed. And just think, you can't get any photos from this perspective anymore because these buildings aren't there anymore. We all know the story, 9/11 and all that crap, so I don't have to delve into it. But, it was look at this guy. He has an airplane on his roof. You see that? Look at that. I zoomed up on it. Let's check it out. Yeah, there's a biplane there. Does he actually take off or something, or is this there for show? It looks like there's a little strip there. I don't know. There's a lot of weird stuff in the city. So that's like the town hall with the golden statue on it. I took a lot of pictures down in those streets, walking around, and you've seen them probably in other video slideshows I made. But these are unique photos, totally unique photos that can't be had. I was upset with photo CDs for a while because in order to get the best resolution and color, it was like software you had to buy. But in the day, back in 1999, using the lowest resolution to upload to your web pages was good enough. Of course, now we have 8K video, and what's HD video is going to be laughable. But it's still good enough for now. And just like when you look at old videos from the 1800s, well, that's all they had at the time. So there's a Chrysler building. What else do I recognize? The MetLife. Used to be the Pan Am building. This is Jersey City, the waterfront of Jersey City. Goldman Sachs has one of their buildings there. And of course, this is all different now too. It's getting more built up and built up. Here's the train station. Now you're right. This has all been gentrified and turned to a nice park where people could hang out and stuff like that. Yeah. It's, 26 years, a lot of changes in cities in 26 years. The Statue of Liberty, and you see there's a little ferry there or something. There's a little bit of a close-up. Some good detail. Remember, this is probably 400 film. Here's some tugboat. This is a heavy-duty crop. Tugboat in a garbage scow, probably. The Brooklyn Bridge. This is all different. The Watchtower is gone. That's that building to the right there. Forget that. There's a close-up of that area. Totally all different. Absolutely. Now here's with the 135 millimeter. Yeah, so these buildings are still there. And you can see them from the ground level. I haven't been on top of the Freedom Tower yet, because they take away all your freedom to get into it. They have to anal probe you before they let you go in. So I figure, screw that. They could keep their freedom. The Brooklyn Bridge is still there, but that waterfront's all changing now. Sure does look grungy and run down, doesn't it? There's the Empire State Building. A lot of grain, but it's film. What can I tell you? There's that building. This is, I forget the name of this building. I have pictures of it from the ground level. Things always look different from higher up. New York must have been, is a rich city, because is that a real gold statue? And if it's this bronze, someone has to go up there and clean it every once in a while. Yep, that's it.